everyone, friends, family, whoever else is joining me, strangers. It's time for monthly favorites and not so favorites. This isn't really a disclaimer, but just so you know, Galileo is napping. I feel like whenever you guys don't see him like wandering around in the background or anything, you're like, is your cat dead? Where'd he go? He likes to sleep during the day because in the morning he likes to wake me up, and by the morning I mean like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. He's just... I'd like a nap too right now, but I'm gonna film this video for you instead. So let's get into it, shall we? Starting with the bottom of the pyramid. I think this is probably one of my most hated products of all time, if I can say that, and it happens to be the Revlon Fabulash. Now, real disclaimer, I've had this mascara sitting in my extras box probably since it was my senior year, so it's maybe been in there for like a year and a half, but you know, if you haven't opened it, these things don't go bad. So, I know that's not the problem. The problem is this actual mascara, and I'm pretty sure that's why it was discontinued, because it sucks. I've got a blog post on this, so definitely go and check that out. I'll leave a link below like always, and with any of these other products, if I have a post on them, to show you what it does for my lashes. I also used this in my most recent everyday makeup tutorial, so I'll link that down below as well if you haven't seen that, and then you can kind of see this in action. Next up, something that should have been fantastic, but then was not. It's a Sonia Kashuk quad, eyeshadow quad in Shimmering Sands, and I've never tried anything from Sonia Kashuk before because it's expensive for a drugstore product, but people rave about her cosmetics. I feel like especially the concealer palette that she has and the brushes that she comes out with. And so I figured, you know, I saw this little beaut when I was going through Target one day. I had to have it. No. You can see in the little swatches that I'm doing here, the colors all end up looking the same. The two like kind of matte but with shimmer laced through, those two colors, they're very chalky, they are not pigmented at all, and they end up looking exactly like each other, which basically looks like nothing, and it just kind of gives you that shimmer that they put on Robert Pattinson in the Twilight movies. And then the two shimmer shades are really quite lovely, but they end up looking exactly the same. So I'm trying to use this as much as I can, but really, Sonia Kashuk, really. And I've also heard from other people, once I did my blog post on this, other people were like, oh my god, me too, I've tried other quads from her and they're so chalky and blah blah blah. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that? Why didn't anyone write a post or a review on this before? You could have saved me money, so hopefully I will save you some money. Don't be sucked in by the beautiful packaging and the beautiful colors that they look like they should be. Rant over. So here we have this little baby sample from one of my Birch boxes way back in the day. I think this was like July or something, like really long time ago. And during the summer, I really don't need a highlighter because I'm sweaty enough and kind of have that natural glow. It's not bad, but it's not good either. So again, this is in my everyday makeup tutorial, so if you want to like see it in action, go there. But basically, it's really runny. Maybe it's because it's a shimmer lotion. It does feel semi-hydrating, but the problem is it takes a really long time for it to kind of get tacky, so you're just kind of sitting there and rubbing it in, and then that ends up like kind of rubbing your foundation weird, so there's a learning curve involved in this, but otherwise it's a gorgeous color and it's a nice highlight. It's just there's much better highlights out there, so I'll use it up, but definitely not going to be purchasing this ever. Up next we have something that I probably never would have expected to be so in love with, but I think I finally figured out the Maybelline Color Tattoos. I feel like when they first came out, people were really going on about how, oh my god, they act like a primer as well as an eyeshadow. But they really don't. So now that I've figured out that you need a primer underneath these, I love them for what they are. I missed out on the Barely Beige edition, the limited edition. But then Maybelline put out the metal collection, which I think you can still get your hands on. And they came out with another nude-ish color in Barely Branded. And I had been searching for this everywhere for a very long time, and then finally one day in Target I looked in the slot, it wasn't there, and I was like kicking myself, kicking everything around me. I was so mad. And then all of a sudden I saw in one of the other slots, I was like, that's strange, because it was sitting backwards like this, like that looks like what should be Barely Branded. Is that it? And then I went up to it, and it was! Some loser had put this in the wrong slot to confuse me, but I found it. And so I picked it up, and I actually really like this. I don't know that I would wear it on its own. I did that once, and it's a lot. It ends up looking very white on me, so it's a look. This is really, really, really nice underneath your eyeshadows. A lot of cream eyeshadow bases like this, they tend to change the color of an eyeshadow that you put on top of it, but this one doesn't change it, it just amplifies it. So I really like it for those purposes. It just makes my eyeshadows stand out a lot more and really makes the color a lot more oomph. Moving on, second tier of my pyramid, I've got the Dr. Lipp Original Nipple Balm for lips. Oh yeah, nipple balm. So I guess the story behind this is that this Dr. Lipp guy came, maybe it's a girl, I don't know. Oh, societal influence, I just assumed doctor is man. Apparently first came out with this balm for women who were breastfeeding and their nipples were all chapped and cracking from babies suckling on them. And then they decided to make a lip balm as well. And so many UK bloggers and YouTubers and whatnot just rave about this stuff. And so I really wanted to try it because I'm kind of a chapstick whore. And Birchbox answered my prayers and sent it to me. And this is great. I'm gonna do a really gross little like kind of poop shot for you here, but just so you can see the actual product. It looks a lot like Vaseline, but it's a much thicker consistency, but I find that it absorbs into your lips more than Vaseline does rather than sitting on top of it, and it's also void of that typical Vaseline scent and taste. So it's completely tasteless, almost has no smell, almost, but it's really nothing. You've really got to be like sniffing your lips if you want to smell it. And it's just overall fantastic. Next up, I finally ran out of my Dove detangling, conditioning, treatment, what have you, and so I decided to give something else a try. That one was starting to make my hair feel really heavy. Residue, I felt like it was leaving a residue. I am a big fan of coconut and coconut scented things, flavored things. Coconut is, it's what I like. So I decided, I saw this nourishing coconut oil weightless. Weightless was a nice keyword they included there. Hydrating oil mist by Organics. It's got the nice spray pump and it actually does a really nice mist onto your hair. Just, it hydrates your hair. It's not like it's one of those things where you're not gonna like notice right away like, ooh, look at all the gloss and shine and fantasticness. But you're just gonna notice that your hair feels a lot healthier after using this a few times. The only complaint I have is that this is not a normal coconut smell. It smells like coconut, but it's like a really concentrated sweet form of coconut. And I don't mind sweet scented things, but this is almost too much. I would say give this a sniff, you know, do the little open up the bottle thing at Target. I know, shame on you, but this is one of those things where either you're gonna really like the smell or it's really gonna bother you and be too strong. Thankfully it does not cling to your hair at all. Just so you know. It's a smell to get used to. But otherwise, really great. Really recommend this. Up next, we have this Kate Sommerville CytoCell Dermal Energizing Treatment. I think this was kind of the karma gods teasing me for that one favorites video or whatever where I said something about, you know, people complaining about their skin getting so dry in the winter. So they decided to make my skin dry this winter. My eyes were getting these really, really patchy, dry, flaky areas, which was just a nightmare to put concealer and eyeshadow on top of. So I tried basically every single cream that I had that I could think of. I thought, you know, the thicker the better. Nothing was working for me, and so I was finally about to cave and buy a very expensive cream from Sephora, and by very expensive it was like $35, but still, for like a little 1 ounce tube, that's expensive. And then all of a sudden, before I clicked the purchase button, I was like, one moment, I think I have something. And I remembered that my mom had given me a couple of these little sample things. And thanks for doing that, Mom, because this completely solved my problem. I swear, after 2 nights of using this, gone. No more flaky dry patches, nothing. I don't know how Kate Sommerville does it. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this stuff. It stimulates stem cell activity and restores the skin with new energized cells. Blah, 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 blah. So I thought, perfect! I was nervous because it's a very runny kind of lotion cream, but boom, does the trick. It's also got a smell that either you're gonna probably love or hate, but it's not really strong. It's just kind of that citrus herbal smell that I feel like Origins kind of comes out with a lot of those smells, and like kind of organic-y stuff, but really great. I really recommend this if you're struggling with flaky dry patches on your skin. Thank you, Kate Sommerville and Mom. Up next, I'm cheating because I definitely had favorite blushes this month, but it's like I alternated. One day I would wear one, the other day I'd wear the other. So I couldn't pick between these two to put in my favorites. So I'm just showing you both and calling it one category. One of them you've heard about in excess from me if you watch me here and follow my blog. I feel like I'm just getting annoying with this, but it's Tarte's Natural Beauty, and this is just a gorgeous, can I say gorgeous again? It's gorgeous. Muted strawberry red type matte blush. Tarte is just, I mean, one of the definite overlords of the blush industry, I would say. And then the other one, if I'm wanting something a little more subtle and a little more glowy, I'll go for my NARS Orgasm blush, and this is just a mini sample that I got from Sephora from my bonus points, and I just love it. I'm sure you all have heard about Orgasm. It's, you know, that peachy golden sheen loveliness, so really been enjoying that, and these have definitely been the 2 blushes that I go for. Alright, sorry, I feel like I'm really annoying and not interesting today. My apologies. Up next, and everything is covered in cat hair. Galileo, you're not here, but you're here. I've got my Stila in the No palette, and this is just beyond gorgeous. I got this for free, fantastic, from Birchbox using my points, and I love it. Probably one of the best free products I've ever gotten ever. It's such a lovely collection of matte eyeshadows, plus, you know, you get the smudge stick in Half Moon in there as well, which I just adore. The colors are just, they're perfect. They're neutral enough for every day, but they're enough like fire and clay that are kind of, you know, original and not so daytime, but you can make them daytime. It's just the perfect palette in every way. I would say the colors that I'm most enjoying are definitely Wind is just a perfect nude color for me. It blends into my skin tone. It's great for blending. Desert is just another really great nude. Clay is just a really beautiful kind of blushing mauve-y. I can't describe it because it's beautiful. And then Rain is just kind of a lightish milk chocolatey brown color. But they're all just gorgeous and buttery soft and pigmented and everything that Sonia Kashuk palette wasn't. Lovely, Stila, you win, you win! So, top of my pyramid, I feel like this is no surprise at all. It's my NARS Light Reflecting Setting Powder, pressed powder. I told you when I hauled this I was gonna keep it in this stupid package, and true to my word I have, just because they included it. Of course I'm gonna use it even though I don't need it, and it's lovely. I can't fault this for much. The things it does for my face, it just makes me feel perfect even though I know I'm not. That's a great feeling to have when you leave your house, and I know it's upsetting that I have to kind of scrape at this to get the powder to really lift off and for my brush to be able to pick it up, but you know, such is life. I'm hoping that I just got a dud and that no one else experiences this, but I'm probably, when I go to repurchase this, if and when I run out, I'm probably gonna get the loose powder instead just so I don't have to deal with that. But yeah, other than that, absolutely no faults. This is perfection in a compact. You're basically dusting diamonds onto your face, and who doesn't want a face made out of diamonds? Try and tell me no. I don't believe you. So, voila. That's it. That is my best and worst for February. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found some products to avoid and some products that you might want to splurge on yourself, because there were some good ones this month. Some really good ones. Hope you're well, and until next time, stay well until then. Bye!